If you've ever had the pleasure of being invited to my apartment, you know that I gotta catch 'em all when it comes to spices. One I don't use quite as much is fennel, so I wanted to find something new and delicious to add to the repertoire. I love Indian food of all kinds. I have Indian relatives and spent a fair amount of my childhood learning all about Hindu gods over pakoras and rasmalai. Not everyone is a huge fan of the stronger flavors and heavy spices, my mom being one, but this curry I found and tweaked from Chetna Makan is so mild and delicately fragranced I think even she would like it. Even better, it's simple, accessible, and quick with pretty minimal active cooking time. First off, I soaked 20 grams of cashews and 1 teaspoon of fennel in 200 milliliters or around 1¼ cups of coconut milk for at least an hour, or right before work and you can just use it when you get home. Right before cooking, blend this all together until smooth and thickened. When it's cooking time, I added some oil to a pan and put in 1 grated onion, 1 diced carrot, and 1 diced bell pepper. The onion is key, but I could see this working with whatever veg, from potato to okra or even that old vegetable medley in a freezer. The important thing is to make sure your onions get nice and brown, probably 20 minutes plus. I could have browned this more, but I was hungry. After your onions are browned, add in half a teaspoon salt, a half teaspoon of chili powder, I use Kashmiri, a half teaspoon of ground turmeric, and a half teaspoon of garam masala. Let the spices activate in the heat and oil before adding in your coconut milk cashew fennel cream and an additional 50 milliliters or ¼ cup of water. I put it in the bowl that held the cream so I didn't lose any of that flavor. Let that bubble for 2 to 3 minutes before adding in 12 to 15 shrimp. I used frozen 26-30 count, but fresh would be great, you just want plump. Cook until the shrimp just turn pink. At the end, I add in 1 teaspoon of fenugreek leaves or kasuri methi. I wouldn't use seeds instead of leaves, but fenugreek in all forms is complex, resinous, and to me is a mix of maple, celery, and laurel. This curry is so creamy and delicately spiced, even though we use a small amount of fennel, it really shines. If you aren't concerned with carbs, you could have this over rice or with flatbread. I'm still developing a recipe for the perfect low-carb roti, so I had it with a prototype. That recipe still needs work, so I'll post that when it's right, but as you can see, even with the roti, it had a pretty minimal effect on my glucose. If you're looking for a quick, unique, and delicious curry or want to experiment with some spices before they go dull, try this. Let me know how it turns out and follow for more low-carbified recipes from all over the world.